It goes like this. This is the word rebirth. You find it in all the titles of the what we call pharaohs, like Ra-Mesu, the rebirth of Ra. Ramses. It's not a name, it's just a title. I know that there are no names written on the walls of the tombs or temples, it's just titles related to the disk of the sun. And this is 3 jackal skin. And here to confirm the death of Anubis. Jackal is dead, jackal is dead, jackal is dead, 3 times. Yeah, and that means no more fear. You will be protected by the Hanut to prepare you to the other side of the Budan. Now, we know that the khipr, it takes the form of the human skull, like that. These are the light opener, the eyes, and what you receive either go into either side of this. This is the consciousness side here, and this is the subconsciousness side. What we see, to absorb it, it's done. But if you don't, you receive it or save it in your subconsciousness side, that can be said. That's the khipr, and it shows them. And of course, the word khipr, it's an ancient Khemitian word, means the scarab. And the scarab is a driller, and it symbolizes the childhood or the birth of the sun. Yeah. Now, if we go back to khipr, I say roughly 65,000 years. It's the stage of khipr. And then 30,000, correct? And then 15,000, 12,000 years, yes. And then this is eaten, the stage of ripeness, ripehood. And there, it's from that time down to Ammon. It's from 6,000 years BC till today. It's the cycle of coming to another cycle, coming back to the light, circling here. The history of Egypt, or Al-Khemet, it's taught by the Europeans, and I know that there are many confusing of looking at the names and the I have list of names of pyramids here which appear in this period here. The Pernetters is what we call Jedefra, that's Abu Rawash, yeah, and Kha'ifra, it's all related to Ra, and then Seneferu, that's Dashur, and Sekhemkhet, that's Saqqara, and this is the stage where Ptah exists. Ptah, you heard of Ptah, the blue-headed god? And there is another pyramid which is very rare who know about. It's a Atrib, Tel Atrib, little north from Abu Rawash, about 7-8 kilometers to the north. And if we go to Abu Sir, there is Sahara, and then Abu Gharab. And of course, at Giza, the famous Great Pyramid of Khufu. So these names, it's the names we think is for pharaohs, but actually it is titles related to the stages of the sun. I have 60 63 names of pyramids. I can read it for you. The pyramid of Titi, Khoi, Nebhatra, Amenhat, Senusert, Amenemhatu, Senesertu, and Amenemhat III that located in Hawara. Hawara is a place at Fayoum. Fayoum is a semi-oasis about 80 kilometers south of Giza, southwest of Giza, and Khebreger, and the non-complete pyramid that has no name, and then there are pyramids in Mazghuna, and Al-Koro, and the mountains of Rakal, and Nuri, that is way in the south, where Kush is, and Marwa pyramids, that is in the first cataract behind Aswan. Now, if I describe Khemet in the ancient days, it starts with two names, Aswan, and it's not the city name, it's titled to where the source of water, Aswan. And then the other end of the river is Asyut, where the water ends. So you may see the word As is repeated here. Aswan, Asyut, Asgat. Yeah? And the group of pyramids located at Giza, and known pyramids at Giza, there are 10 pyramids. The latest one, of course, you know, the Cheops, Khafren, and Macarinus. And there is another 6 small ones in the late 1950s. Dr. Salim Hassan found another pyramid, it's known by his name, the fourth pyramid, it says. And then the Abu Sir pyramids, there are 5 from 5th dynasty, and the Saqqara pyramids, and there are 2 sections, the north of Saqqara and the south of Saqqara. And then the group of Dahshur, we know the red pyramid and the pinned pyramid. And then the other pyramid of rebels, you saw it with Stephen. And the pyramids of Mazghuna, and then the group of Mazghuna, they are 7. And another group of Lisht, and 4. And then the group of Maydum, they are 3. And another group which is known as Usirkaf, Sahara, New Sera, and the rest of 63 pyramids known at the area. Now, it's the 3 different pairs, you know, Per'a, that's the house where the woman rule, and then Perka, and that's the tomb, and Perneter, this is where the energy is there, and Perka, Perba, and that's the temples. Of course, temples, it's not the original name for the Perba, but there are some pyramids are Perba, and there are construction known as temples that you see in Luxor, like Karnak temple, Phila temple in Aswan, Abydos temple of Osiris in Abydos, and a big number of temples all along the Nile. The locations of these constructions haven't been chosen by someone, which is, we can mention the name, but it has been chosen by the nature of people. They walk to what they feel energy is, and they spend the time there. But later on, the Hanuts come and make not a fence, but a gate, like 2 columns, and this is where you go into the Perba. And to go into the Perba, you have to pay piece of bread, like toll, to drive through the roads. And this is how the temples of Egypt to consider as the richest constructions in the world by the people. The calendar of which is considered as the oldest calendar, it is based on the flood of the river. It's divided in 12. 30 times 12 makes 360, and that is the days of the year, except 5 uncounted days, and that is considered as the festival days, where everybody go into the temple and have the food of the temple, which is cooked food. The Khemetians live on the raw food all the year around, except in these festival 5 days. They go into the temple where they can do the initiation and have cooked food, wine, and beer. Yeah. In the temple of Philae, you can still see the building as alley, as a Sphinx alley, and then the big pylon. It's 2 towers connected as a door to go in, and then right behind the pylon comes the ramp, which is for public, for people. And further, you have another a smaller pylon for the other class of people, those who knows. They go in, and this is what we call the hip steel hall, the hall of columns. And those for the healers and those intelligence who deal with people and solve problems. And further in, it's what you know as Holy of Holies. It's a small building, the lowest building and the smallest building in the temple contain the image of the knitter. The image of the knitter, this place, this is the particular place, it's a source of energy, where people in the early days can gather there by nature. Nobody showed them the way, but it's dragged by the nature to heal or to be there for a comfortable place. The Holy of Holies, it's 2 big rocks of stone, one laying on each other, and describe it in, like this. Another one. If we take this line as the level of the ground, the one rock goes like this, another rock goes like this. So 2 rocks. In the center is the triangle, which the source of energy. The Hanuts come with a fence like this, and this is where you have to go in and do the initiation of energizing. Later on, more walls, and that is the hall of the columns, hip steel hall, the Greeks call it. And later, another one. Yeah, and that is where the main pylon here, decorated by 2 huge statues for the knitter, or for, you see, cartouches written on, related to the sun god. In front, the alley can be Sphinx alley or Ram alley, supposed to be 42, facing each other, and that is the symbol of the 42 tribes which makes Egypt. So that's how is the temple. This part is the Holy of Holies, and of course when you visit any temple today, you don't see these rocks because the ground grows, and this is already under the ground. But the Holy of Holies is the chapel where you see a myriad of 3 images of gods, and that's in Ammon, it is the Mut, Ammon, and Khons. Mut is the child, Ammon, and Mut. Like in Christianity, Father and Son and Holy Ghost is the same thing. It's where the Holy of Holies is. So that's the form of the temple in ancient Egypt, and there is nowhere the temple. This were inherited by others, non-Egyptians, non-Khemetians. So it's known as the Pirba